One of the many things that is difficult for parents as well as teachers to keep track of are high school graduation credits. And so we want to take just a couple minutes and run through what is it like to be stepping into a high school at this time in 2021, what's required to graduate, and then what are some of the options. So my name is Michael Elder, and I have the opportunity to work with our school counselors as well as a number of our schools. And so just wanted to take a couple minutes to do this with you today. So, the first thing to recognize is that there are three large categories that all of our students fit into as high school students. The first is the largest group, and this should entail most all of our students, and those are our Future Ready Course of Study diploma candidates, and that's what we're going to focus on here in this session. But there are also two other categories. Some of our exceptional children will fall into the occupational course of study diploma, and some will fall into the adaptive course of study, and we're going to talk about those in a later session. I like to capture things as far as the big picture. And so when we think about that as far as our graduation credits are concerned, 22 is our magic number. Now that's our minimum number, and so it's not what we want to strive for, but 22 credits is the minimum number of credits that a student is going to need to have to graduate from high school here in Onslow County Schools. We're going to look at a lot of other options, so I'm not going to dwell on that here, but we're going to keep coming back to the 22. There are four big questions that when we sit with a student, we want them to think through. And the first is the hardest. It's probably one that even as adults, we're all still trying to wrestle with, which is what problem do I want to solve in my life's work? Like, what is out there that I want to work through as a student in my lifetime? There may be a certain career, there might be a certain job that I'm really interested in, and so that might already be popping in my brain, but for other kids, there may not. We also want to ask, what does this student want to do when they graduate, when they first graduate? Are they looking to go straight into the military? Are they looking to go straight into a career? Are they looking to go straight into college? Are they looking to have something in there that's a little more temporary when they first graduate from high school? And then the fourth one is a huge one too, which is who do I go to when I, as a student, have questions, or as a parent, who can I turn to? So let's take a careful look at those 22 credits. What are the 22 credits? Well, it's not just any 22, it's the credits that we see laid out here on our screen. We're going to need 4 in English, we're going to need 4 in math, we're going to need 3 in science, 4 in social studies, 1 in health and PE, and then 6 electives. That breaks down into each one of those courses. So when we think about English, the nice thing is in English, we've got 4 courses, English 1, 2, 3, and 4. There are some that can substitute in, and we'll talk about those in a little bit too. But basically, those are my 4 Englishes. And in 4 maths, I've got math 1, math 2, math 3, and a 4th math. These are going to encompass a lot of the same credits or standards that you might have gone through, and then it may be some more math because sometimes kids today are going through a lot higher math than what we've had to do perhaps when we as adults were in school. So again, we've got 4 maths, and that 4th math we have lots of different options for. The big thing with the 4th math is that it aligns with what does this child want to do next. So we might find advanced placement courses there. We might take just a general math 4. We might use some of our career and technical education courses for that purpose. So we've got English, we've got math, we've got science, right? So science, we have to have 3 credits, and those are earth and environmental science, biology, and then a physical science. So some kids might want to take just a general physical science. Other kids might want to take physics. Many kids want to take chemistry. So those are all options. But we need 3 courses. 2 of them have to be earth and environmental and biology, and then we get a little choice with our physical science. All right, so we did English, math, science. So let's talk social studies. So our kids who are entering high school in the 2021-2022 school year have these 4 classes. Now, there are some kids who came in previous years who have options for some other things, but they basically end up with the same types of courses, just some things rearranged a little bit. So we're going to have world history, we're going to have American history, we're going to have founding principles of the United States and North Carolina, which is a civics and financial literacy course. And then we're going to take it in the senior year generally, and it could happen somewhere else, but we're going to take that economics and personal finance course, sometimes referred to as EPF. So economics and personal finance, as we're getting ready to step out of high school. So those are the first set of 15 credits. Then we have these 6, which are meant to give kids a chance to explore, right? So some kids are going to want to take a number of band type courses or the arts courses. Other kids might want to really focus in on STEM. Some kids might want to focus in on a lot more electives in English. Some kids might want to take a lot of career and technical courses. Other kids might want to focus on world languages. So this is where we get that freedom, 6 credits that are just in an area that we're really interested in. Now, if a student wants to go to a UNC system school or really any college, it's a requirement to take 2 years of world language, and certainly more is probably better. So as you start planning things out, we want to know, what are all those possible choices? What are my career tech options? What are my arts options, my world language options, my junior reserve officer training corps options, dual enrollment? Do I want to take some courses over at Coastal Carolina Community College and see if that's for me? Or it could just be in any of those content areas we mentioned before. So that got us up to 21 credits. And now here's our 22nd credit. And most kids will take their health and PE course in their freshman year, but they can take it anywhere along the way, as long as they graduate with their health and PE course. Kids are also required to have checked off CPR, and a lot of our schools will do that even in middle school to knock that out. All right, so let's take a look at what might my 4-year plan look like if I just want to go with this is just our general courses, and I could substitute all kinds of things in here, and we're going to show you how we do that a little bit later. So when I get into my courses, remember I got to have 4 maths, so you see those in the top line, 4 Englishes, second line, 3 sciences, you see those on the third line, 4 world histories, so there those are. We snuck in those world languages, but notice they're not in bold, they're not graduation requirements. We've got our PE in there, and then we have those 6 required electives that we would pick from the rest of the catalog. But you also notice, even with those 6, that still leaves me with another 7 semesters in there that I can pick more electives from. So that's where we say kids actually usually have 32 courses, 4 courses per semester, and 2 semesters in the year, so 8 courses in a semester times the 4 years. Most kids end up with 32 options to get those 22 credits, but they may have a year-long course or something else that takes up a few more of those spaces. So there's lots of flexibility. What we want to encourage kids to do is to really do the best they can all the time, but especially in that 9th and 10th grade year, because that is when our kids, if they do that and they take as much as they can in that 9th and 10th grade year, that should free them up to have more flexibility in that 11th and 12th grade year, which opens up things like taking a course over at the community college. So now if you would like more information, the number one source of that information is always going to be that high school counselor. And so you can find your high school here on the list, and reach out to that high school counselor. Again, my name is Michael Elder, and I'm glad to talk about any of this with any of you. And we're going to offer some more snippets on specialty programs as we work moving forward. So thanks again for sharing this bit of time with us, and we will talk to you again soon.